When you first learn about investing, it's exciting. You want to get started straight away. And why wouldn't you? It feels like a big step towards a better financial future. And the earlier you begin, the more time compound interest has to work its magic. It's no surprise then that people jump in eagerly and often prematurely. They open brokerage accounts, deposit as much as they can, and follow the latest hot stock tips being shared on social media. But here's the truth that most people learn too late. Starting before you're prepared doesn't speed up your progress, it often sets you back. I've seen it happen time and time again. If you don't have certain foundations in place, investing can become stressful and even damaging. In this video, we'll go through the 4 things that I believe you absolutely need in place before you invest a penny. Hello and welcome back to the Dividend Experiment, the channel that helps you build a portfolio that pays your bills. The content that we discuss is intended for information and educational purposes only, and should not be considered investment advice or investment recommendations. Whenever you invest, your capital is at risk. Before you invest a single penny, there are 4 key foundations that you need to have in place. Skip them and your portfolio might collapse the moment it faces pressure. We'll explore each one: income, emergency fund, knowledge, and emotional balance, in the order that I think they matter most. First is income. Income is where it all begins. You can't invest what you haven't earned. Without a consistent stream of income, the rest of the investment equation falls apart. But here's where people often go wrong. They assume income alone is enough. The logic sounds straightforward: get a job, make some money, invest in stocks. But that overly simplistic approach ignores the broader ecosystem that you need to build around your investments. Early on in your investing journey, the most powerful lever you have isn't your rate of return, it's your rate of contribution. For example, if you've invested £1,000, even a 10% return gives you just £100 in growth. But if you contribute an additional £1,000, you've just doubled your capital base instantly. The magic of compounding doesn't even have time to shine until your portfolio hits a certain size, and before you reach it, consistent contributions get you there. More than that, contributing regularly builds financial habits, discipline, consistency, and long-term thinking. These habits are what separate successful investors from frustrated dabblers. Invest in yourself first. There's a common misconception that investing in yourself delays your financial progress, but the opposite is true. Early in your journey, money spent on education, certifications, and skill building can yield far higher returns than any stock. Think of it this way. If a £2,000 certification boosts your income by £5,000 a year, you've just secured a higher return annually. It's a jump start. This is especially powerful when you're young or early in a career pivot. In practical terms, you don't need to choose between personal development and portfolio growth. A sensible split, say 60% towards investing in yourself and 40% towards long-term assets, can serve you well in your 20s and early 30s, as the growth or value of the self-investment is exponential with time. What if you have variable income? No problem. If you're a freelancer, self-employed, or work on commission, don't let income fluctuations derail your investment rhythm. Use a percentage-based model. Save and invest a fixed portion, say 20% of every payment you receive. During the fat, higher earning months, you invest more, and during the lean months, you cut back without going to zero. And what about debt? This is a common sticking point. If you're carrying high interest debt, so credit cards, payday loans, etc., realistically, that's your priority. You're unlikely to find an investment that outpaces something like a 20% annual interest rate safely. So ideally, clear that first. It's not personal financial advice, just a question of maths, really. If you have lower interest debt, like student loans or a mortgage, you can often manage that alongside investing, provided you have a stable income and an emergency fund. Coming up next, by the way. 2. An emergency fund. Next up is your emergency fund. When life throws a curveball, and it inevitably will, this is the buffer that keeps you on track. Imagine this: your car breaks down, a boiler fails, or worse, you lose your job. Without an emergency fund, your only options are to raid your investments or to take on high interest debt, both of which can seriously set back your progress. An emergency fund is like a financial shock absorber. It gives you breathing space, allows you to act with intention, and protects you from panic-driven decisions. How much do you need? A common rule is 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. That means housing, utilities, food, insurance, transport, and any non-negotiables like childcare or minimum loan payments. If your income is stable and your job is pretty secure, 3 months might suffice. But if you're freelance, self-employed, or in a volatile industry, aim for closer to 6. I personally like to think of it like this. Think how long it would realistically take for you to get a similar job if you lost your job today, and then add 1 month. Don't forget the psychological benefits. Knowing you're covered for a few months brings confidence. That confidence is what allows you to invest calmly without flinching at every market tremble. Where to keep it? This fund isn't meant to grow necessarily, it's meant to be there when you need it. Store it somewhere safe, accessible, and ideally with at least some return. High interest, easy access savings accounts are ideal. In the UK, premium bonds are also a popular option too for higher rate taxpayers, though returns aren't guaranteed and may vary month to month. As an additional point, the prizes are tax-free. Avoid locking it away in fixed length savings or riskier assets. Liquidity or easy access is the key feature here. Should you build it before you invest? Not necessarily, you don't need the full amount saved before you begin investing, but you should have a significant chunk in place, enough to handle a basic emergency. Then build both your investments and emergency fund in parallel until you hit your target. And if you ever need to dip into it, and that's what it's there for, make a plan to rebuild it over time, not just leaving it depleted. The third thing is knowledge. The next leg of your financial foundation is knowledge. And I don't just mean knowing what ticker symbols to buy and things like that. I mean generally understanding how investing works, how to manage risk, how dividends create cash flow, and how to build a portfolio with an actual purpose. And knowledge is important because here's the truth. Without knowledge, you're not really investing. You're basically guessing or estimating, or maybe even gambling. And guessing with your money rarely ends well. You don't need to become a professional analyst at all, but before you start investing, you should be able to clearly answer a few key questions. What exactly are you investing in? Why are you investing in it? What kind of risk are you taking on? And what could realistically go wrong? If you can explain your investment choices to a friend in plain English and back them up with logic rather than hype, you're probably ready to begin. That said, many people jump in far too soon. A little knowledge can actually be dangerous, especially when it creates overconfidence. You learn a few terms, watch a few videos, and suddenly you feel like you've got it all figured out. It's known as the Dunning-Kruger effect, the illusion that you know more than you actually do. And that's why building a solid educational foundation is so important before putting money at risk. If you're serious about learning how to invest properly, not just picking random stocks or copying what you see online, this is exactly why I built the core curriculum at the dividendacademy.com. It takes you step by step across 8 modules and over 40 videos, from understanding the stock market basics, accounting, research, right through to dividend growth strategies, diversification, and risk management. You'll also get lifetime access, ongoing updates, and access to a private community, so you're never learning in isolation. So by the end of it, you won't just know what to invest in, you'll understand why and have the tools to build lasting wealth through the stock market. Knowledge compounds just like capital does, and the earlier and more intentionally you build it, the more powerful and confident you become as an investor, and the fewer costly mistakes you'll make along the way. This isn't about chasing tips, it's about building a system you actually understand and can stick with. But you also need to be honest about what you don't know. Investing has layers: tax implications, diversification strategy, sequence of return risk, behavioral traps, and more. Many of these fall into the realm of unknown unknowns, the blind spots you're not even aware of yet. So every concept you master today makes the next one easier. Investing and gaining knowledge is iterative. Start small, but keep learning. The fourth thing you need is emotional balance. Last but absolutely not least is emotional balance. This is the part no one really talks about until it's too late. Investing is emotionally charged. When markets crash, fear takes over. When they soar, greed kicks in. Both can lead to irrational decisions, panic selling or FOMO buying, and that will absolutely wreck your long-term strategy. To invest successfully, you don't just need to know what to do, you need to be able to stick with your plan when it's hardest to do so. Can you stay calm? Ask yourself, can I stomach a 30% drop without hitting the sell button? Do I check my portfolio obsessively? Do I stay the course or chase the next big thing? If you're constantly reacting to market ups, downs, and panic, you're not investing, you're likely just gambling. Practical ways to build emotional resilience. Automate your investments. Take emotion out of the process. Limit media consumption that fuels fear or greed. Educate yourself on historical market cycles, and this normalizes volatility. And write an investment policy, a personal rulebook to follow when emotions run high. You don't have to be emotionless about your investments entirely. I don't think that would be reasonable at all. You just need to avoid letting emotion dictate the action you take. Discipline and detachment are pretty rare traits when it comes to things like personal finance and money, but they're what allow investors to thrive when others panic. And that's all 4 things you need, but actually there's a 5th thing. We talked about the 4 things you need before you invest a penny: income, an emergency fund, knowledge, and emotional balance. And those 4 are essential. Without them, your investing foundation is unstable, and your journey is likely to be short-lived or stressful. But here's the thing most people miss. There's actually a fifth element, and it's just as important as the rest. You need a strategy. The 4 things that we've covered are what I call the legs of the metronome portfolio. They hold everything up. But without a clear plan guiding where you're going, you're just standing still. Strategy is what gives direction to all that preparation. It's how you go from having the tools to actually building something with them. So if this video helped you get your foundations in place, the next step is learn how to bring them all together into a real functioning portfolio. Watch this video I made where I explain the full metronome portfolio framework, and this is my own personal strategy for building long-term income-focused wealth in a way that's simple, sustainable, and, relatively speaking, stress-free. If you liked this video, and if you made it this far, I'm guessing you probably did, then I have some good news for you. I'm giving away my PDF guide to the 10 dividend investing commandments, or the criteria that I use to pick dividend paying stocks, and I'm giving it away to you for free. All you need to do is submit your email in the link below and it'll get delivered to your inbox straight away. Again, that's for free. But that's not the only benefit of joining the email. You also get updates on the almost daily dividend portfolio, interesting stock ideas or news, and special deals and free stuff that I can share with you. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. See you!